Hi, this is Siobhan. I talked to you in the metro about your gorgeous hair. I was looking for a video to try to send you on my technique, but I just figured it'd be easier to do a video myself. So it's going to be a quick summary, really rustic because I'm not a YouTuber. So when you're doing hair, you're going to need a comb for parting. This is called a rat tail comb, and it's also called a parting comb, which makes it a parting comb is this little area right here. It's just easier to cut the hair with, but any type of thin tooth comb will work. I personally use a crochet hook. It's called a latch hook. As you can see a little bit closer, it has a latch that hooks. It costs about $1 at any major store. You'll need some clips. Um, ooh, these clips happen to be quite thick because my hair is thick, but any clips will do. You'll need some scissors, and you'll need a holding wax. So this one I got from the United States. As you can see, the texture is quite thick, if you can see that. This one is a little bit pricey, but any type of holding wax that you find here, texturizing wax will do. You'll also want to get some of these plastic hair ties. You can also find hair rubber bands. The plastic ones are a little bit better for your hair because they don't absorb moisture, but you want to make sure they're easily broken. That will make sure your hair doesn't have any damage in the process. You'll want to get attachment hair. This happens to be curly because I use curlier styles. Straight is fine. I tend to use a brand called Expressions. It's with an X. You'll want to have something called what do you call it? Pre-separated hair, ideally, but that's a little bit complicated. I can get into send you a video on how you would prepare the hair if you were to just buy regular braiding hair. So, like I said, you'll have to forgive me. This is a doll, probably one of the straightest hair dolls I could find quickly, and I'm going to show you the technique. The idea is that, if you can see it, what I like to do is separate out how much I'm going to braid, and I'm going to begin by tying the hair at the scalp like this with the little plastic hairband I had mentioned. Okay, I'm going to separate and tighten it a little bit, being gentle. So as you can see, it's nice and tight, and this is going to keep your hair looking neater for a little bit longer. It's also going to make the following process simpler. Then we're going to use our holding wax, and we're going to apply it to the braid. This is your natural hair, so imagine this is your hair, and you're going to braid this part or twist. I personally prefer twisting because it's faster. So for twisting, you're just going to go over, grab it just like you were spinning, under, and you can even kind of move your wrists to help. So I have this one. We're doing a little carousel Ferris wheel, and I'm grabbing the next one, switching my fingers, as you can kind of see that, and I'm twisting, and I'm just switching my hands, and I'm twisting, and I'm switching my hands. So that's how I get my twist done. Okay, I'm twisting to the end. So now that I'm at the end, I'm going to take some more of this wax, and I'm just going to twirl this around my fingers. So that's going to keep the hair together, and it's going to make the next part, the braiding part, easier. Okay, can we still see? Good, good. So here is where this helpful crochet hook comes in. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a section of the hair. You'll usually want to bend it in half and squeeze it, and that'll give you an idea how long the braid is going, or how wide and thick the braid is going to be. So I know I'm going fast. Any questions, you can send me a WhatsApp anytime. So what I do is I'm going to go into the hair behind. I'm putting the crochet hook at the scalp. Well, I guess we can call that in front of the little rubber band part. As you can see, I'm going to do that one more time. Here's a twist, and the rubber band part, and I'm putting this as close to the scalp as possible. Okay, then I'm going to fold the hair in half so it makes a little loop at the thumb. And then I'm going to latch this around the loop. Okay, closing the latch. Make sure it's all in there properly. And then I'm going to gently pull it through, just a little bit so you know it's through. And now this part's done. So then I'm going to find that loop again and gently pull it out so that I have half and half. Okay, now you're going to take the attachment part and you're going to try to make sure it covers the hair as much as possible. Okay, so you can use more hair if you need to, because you want this to be really covered. As a matter of fact, I might use more hair. Let's see. So I'm going to use more hair. I have more hair. This time I'm going to go up and down that way. It's not interfering with anything else. Pulling it up, finding my little loop, and now we have up and down. So now I'm using this part of the hair to cover that up nicely. That bright pink hair kind of disappeared. And here you can twist again if you want, and you can see how the pink hair is being hidden, or you can braid it. So we're going to go here. We're going to move this. We're going to use these clips. That's what the clips are there for. And we can braid it too. So I would just cover up the pink hair part, just kind of twist it around. And then braiding is just, it's just a matter of practice. So then you're just going to braid, and you're just going to make sure when you're braiding, the hair is still covering up the pink part. Okay? So just go slowly. And braiding is just, I will have to show you a video on how to braid. There's some good ones, so I'll show you some videos on that. But you're basically just going to go over and over and over. So let me finish this braid up. Sorry, this is old hair, so it's kind of, and I usually use this hair for twisting, not for braiding, but we're going to get through it. So, again, you're going to kind of want to just make sure you're keeping the pink hair covered. Okay. Also, when you're braiding, you can use a little bit of the wax I mentioned to keep everything slicked down. Can you still see while I'm doing this? I think so. And you just kind of, yeah, I'll have to show you another video on how to braid. You're just going to keep going down and down and down. And you're just going to keep making sure that pink part is covered. Okay? So down and down and down. So this right here is a good time to use more wax. As you can see, the end of the pink hair is coming to an end. So you would use the wax to really make sure it and the attachment hair are together. So, and I'm just making sure I have a lot of wax on that part. And then you're just going to keep braiding and making sure that that pink hair is covered by the black part. And you're just going to braid and braid and braid. Oh my goodness, and braid and braid and braid. So that's the general idea of how you would do your own hair. Again, twisting, in my opinion, is also a good place to start. Matter of fact, I'll just leave that. Well, I'll undo it. The reason why I like twisting is because it goes a lot faster as well. You don't need special hair for twisting, but hair that's a little bit textured like this does make it easier. But you can use straight hairs, not an issue at all. So I wish I had straight hair to show you, it'd be a lot easier. Okay, actually, I will just do this I'll do a twist on another braid. How about that? Okay, we're just making sure our pink is looped up and hidden. And then we're going to, so you would be using scissors for cutting the hair as needed, etc., etc. I'm trying to think what else you would need. For straight hair, you want to get a little bit of hairspray in the beginning to provide texture. So you just spray a bit of your hair at the root, which is a nice texturizing hairspray. Okay, this is definitely not going to be the best braid you've ever seen because it's on a doll and I'm using my feet. But the idea is that you kind of tucked it away. So I'm going to do that one more time on this, my daughter's doll. She's going to be so confused. So you're going to separate the hair. Usually you use a comb for this part, but that's okay. To get really neat parts on a human, you would use a comb, part the hair like this. Okay, do you see how I parted it? I don't know if you can see here. And then you can use the heavy wax to put it where you parted, and then you would part over it again. And the wax kind of separates the hair and makes it stick, so that would make the part very, very neat. If you wanted super neat parts, you would use wax. Obviously, you're not going to get super neat parts on a doll, so we'll move on. So let's try this again. So we have this hair, our bright pink hair, in a nice little section, and we are taking, let's see, one of these little plastic bands that break easily, because we want them to break easily. We don't want any damage to your hair. And we're going to make a little ponytail. Tight, but not too tight. Make it comfortable. And I'm going to separate it so it tightens a bit. Then I'm going to use some wax, as you see, and I'm going down the hair, and I'm making a little twist. Twist, twist. My fingers are doing a little bit of a rope twist because that's what I'm used to, but just, you know how to do all that. Just twist the hair. Then we're going to go at the end with the wax, and we're going to get the ends nice and twirly, twirly, twirly around our fingers. So it has a little tail and it's all nice and stuck together. Okay. Then we're going to take our latch hook. Make sure that's closed. And we're going to go through the hair. Okay, then we're going to take some hair. We'll do brown this time. And we want to make sure it has enough. Okay, we're going to take the hair. We're going to attach it to the hook. And we're going to pull through. Okay, and we're going to find our little loop-de-loop. Our little loop-de-loop, because we only want to pull out half of the hair. Okay, let's make sure. Oop. Okay. Pulling out half of the hair. Doing this on a doll is way different than doing it on a person. Okay. So okay, let's do that then. Okay. So we pulled out half the hair, and we can make that a little bit tighter if we need to. Okay, so we have half and half, and made that tighter. And we're going to take the hair, and we're going to cover up the pretty pink. Okay, we want enough hair to cover up the pink. So when you're twisting, braiding is quicker, but twisting is quick too. So you could just twist over like this, making sure the pink part is still covered. And you would just twist. And as you can see, twisting just goes a lot easier. I'm trying to go slowly for you to try to give you that view. But that's all you would do, is you would twist, make sure you're covering up the pink. adding the wax if you need to. Let's just do this. So we're going to add some wax to the pink. We're going to make sure the pink is all covered up. Okay, and then we're going to just twist. Okay, make sure your pink is covered up. Make sure your pink is covered up. And twist. Okay, and twist. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do this and keep the doll together and instruct at the same time. So maybe I'll just do it and it'll be a little bit easier. So that'll be a lot easier. And that's pretty much it to the technique. Oh my goodness, this is working on a doll is so difficult. Okay, so now this is going to bother me. So anyway, you don't need a lot of things. Like I said, you might want to get a texturizing hairspray for the beginning to add volume to your hair. You'll want a little parting comb. You'll want some clips. Okay. You want the crochet hook. You want molding wax. This one is called She Is Bomb. Let's see here. And you'll need scissors. And then you'll want and then you'll need these easily breakable little hair bands. I think you can find those in the art store. I think they're also made to do little bracelets for kids. So you could probably do bracelets for kids too. Okay. And like I said, I'm using like textured hair right now just because I had some extra and it's just a lot easier. I'm actually in the process of doing my own hair, so I figured why not. We're twisting this hair just to get it out of the way. And then we are covering it up, making sure it's nice and covered with the hair as best as we can, and then we are just twisting. Okay, so twisting or braiding, either one is fine. You'll kind of figure out what works best for you. Just go nice and slow with it and make sure that you are, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Just go nice and slow with it. Make sure you're using wax as needed to make it slide down your hands a little bit easier and to keep the hair twisted into the see, I'm doing a little twirly cue to hide that pink. Make sure the hair is kind of hidden in the attachment, which you can kind of see. And then that's it. So, and then you kind of see how that hides a lot of the pink there. So that was a quick little, very basic tutorial, but I think that does most of what you would need to know for doing your hair. I told you about parting and adding on the wax. So you part the hair, put the wax directly on the scalp, and then repart for neatness if you want to. You don't need super neat parts when you're braiding hair, to be honest. A bohemian look is really nice. And then in general, for a head shape, you part in straight lines, and then sometimes here, where you have your temple and your temple, I would like to do a little, what do you call it, a top knot, like this. So kind of put the top knot out the way. So you want a nice U shape here, and then you would braid, 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 braid. Okay, and then when you get to the top, you can separate it in half, and then braid, 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 and that just makes it a little bit easier to part and have it look nice. So again, for parting, you would just part the back straight across, but the top you want to do a top knot because you want it to be a nice U shape, kind of. So from your temple to your temple. That's how you can kind of see if it's neat, just temple to temple. And it'll be neat in the front. So you have a little top knot. You're going to, do even sections this way. And then when you're done with this, you would just separate this in half if you wanted a center part. And then braid there and braid there. And then that'll work. So again, that is just a general idea of how to do it if you want to do it yourself. Obviously, you don't have to, but I want to make sure I gave you that information, and that's that. So let me know if you have any questions, and if not, I'll see you whenever you have time, and we'll redo, well, I can show you in person, I should say. All right, talk to you later.